Namo Buddhaya. Today I am going to tell you some Dhamma facts about sense bases. This is especially related to insight meditation. Those who are interested in insight meditation, I think these Dhamma facts will be helpful. The Buddha says, Saddha Rama Bhikkhave Deva Manussa Saddha Ratha Saddha Sammudita. Saddha Rama, human beings and the deities, they live in the sounds that they hear. Mentally, human beings and the deities, including all other beings, they live in the sounds that they hear. Saddha Ratha, human beings and the deities, they live in the sounds mentally, having attached to the sounds, having clung to the sounds. Saddha Ratha. And again Buddha says, Saddha Sammudita, human beings and the deities, they live in the sounds mentally, finding delight in the sounds that they hear. Just because of this attachment, living in the sounds, finding happiness, finding a delight in the sounds, what happens to them is dangerous. When the sounds change, the human beings and the deities, including all the beings, they have to incur suffering, sorrow, grief, lamentation, etc. Because they do not hope these sounds to change, but the real nature of the sound is to change. So the sounds are changing. Sounds are of a nature to change. They rise and fall. When we can't understand this, human beings, they tend to cling to the sounds. They try to mentally enjoy the sounds. They try to attach the sounds. Some agreeable sounds. They find delight in these sounds. But why this is happening? This is happening because of the darkness between the sound and the ear. This is very important. We should have a clear-cut understanding between the two, between ear and the sound. Because of the darkness, somebody could ask the question that where is darkness? The darkness is between the sounds and the ear. Between sounds and the ear. That means it is not between in the space. But it is something completely mental. Now I am going to tell you, when you are doing insight meditation, this is very important. Which fact is important to see within the insight meditation is that there is no real gap, space, no real distance between ear and the sounds that we hear. But because of the darkness, we tend to understand, we tend to perceive some gap, distance, space between ear and the sound. So this gap, this space, this distance that we experience, it is fake. But because of the darkness, we tend to experience some gap, space, distance. We feel automatically we feel some gap, space, distance between ear and the noises, the sounds. But now it is very important to compare this situation with the dream world. Because the Buddha says, Buddha has likened the whole world, this daylight, to a dream world. It means these forms, sounds, smells, tastes, tangibles, etc. have been likened to a dream. that we are experiencing a dream now, but the thing is that we can't understand this. We don't have a good realization, good insight. We don't insightfully see into these things. We don't have that habit. So it is very important when we are doing insight meditation to understand that whether there is a real gap between ear and sounds or not. To understand this, imagine now you are dreaming at night. When you are dreaming, suppose you have ears. There also in the dream also you have ears. And also suppose some vehicles sounds, the honking horns, and suppose there's a temple and the sounds of the bell, and maybe those things you hear in the dream also. But I'm asking you the question: is there a real gap, space, or distance between that dream ear and dream noises, sounds? Actually, you have to say there is no real gap, space, distance between ear and the noises that you hear in the dream world. In the same way, in this world also, there is no any real gap, space, distance between ear and the sounds that we hear. But because of the darkness, we automatically feel, because of the darkness, we automatically feel that there is a gap, space, distance between our ears and noises. So this gap, that means how much you feel the gap or the distance or the space between ear and noises, so much there is the room for some conflict, some stimulation, some mental stimulation between ear and sounds. So this stimulation is created by the darkness, because you don't insightfully see into the middle that there is no real gap. When you can't understand that there is no real gap between ear and the sounds, you tend to cling to the sounds. Then you are mentally living in the sounds. You find delight in the sounds because you don't know that those sounds are mind-made. Now in the dream also, the sounds that you heard are mind-made. That dream ear also not real. That dream ear is also something mind-made. Mental projection, as well as the sounds that you hear in a dream, is also a mental projection. So there is no real gap between mind and the object, mind and the mental object. Those sounds are a shadow of the mind. There is no any gap between mind and its shadow, the sounds. So you should liken this world, this day life, to the dream world. So likening this world to the dream world, we should realize, we should try to realize the truth. That is the truth. So this is a fake world. So the mind is the magician. It tries to deceive us, showing us a realistic world. Realistic means not real, not actually real, but realistic means artificial, some kind of synthetic artificial world that we are seeing, some conditioned things. So we should understand that between ear and noises, the sounds, there is no real gap. So the gap is something we imagine through our mind. So that gap is something created by the mind. So that space, that distance is something imagined out of our mind. So it is mind-made, and when you understand that there is no real gap between ear and sounds, actually you come to a clear-cut understanding, good realization. When you insightfully see into the middle, then you do not tend to mentally live in the sounds, because you know that when the mind rises, it gives rise to the sounds as well. So the sounds are mind-made, the sounds are related to the mind, the sounds are the shadow of the mind, then you do not separate the mind from sounds. So you insightfully see into the middle. When you see into the middle, the darkness is gone. Then the light is in the middle. The light of wisdom is in the middle. When the darkness is gone, actually you neither come to this end, the mind end, mind extreme, nor to the sound extreme. And also you are not mentally smearing in the middle, but instead you are insightfully seeing into the reality what is happening between ear and the sound. So gradually you can get rid of through the middle. So you have to get rid of through the middle of ear and the between ear and the sounds. So that is the way. The sounds are one extreme and the ear is one extreme. In the middle there is mind. Then when you understand that both ear and the sounds are mind-made, mental projection, so you do not cling to the sounds nor the ear, and you do not try to mentally live in the sounds nor the ear. You do not find delight in sounds nor the ear. So this is the way to practice this path. So this is all about insight meditation. I think these dumb facts will be enough for today. Namo Buddhaya.